What up, guys? Welcome back to another episode. It's your boy Jay Bizzle, and today we're going to be talking about how to stay in the present moment. So, what does it really mean to be present, right? What does it mean to be of this world but not in it? Which is the basic concept that a lot of spiritual teachers try to explain in terms of being very grounded in this earth, in this 3D reality, right? Like having our lower chakras pretty open, circulating, right? We got to feed ourselves. We have to, at some point, hopefully, reproduce. You know, we have to breathe in the oxygen. We have to do the worldly things that exist on this 3D plane. But at the same time, the purpose of our reality or this 3D experience, at least in my opinion, is to fuse our spirit, our higher soul, right, our golden essence, with our 3D body. And most of us have grown up with a very, very distorted version and concept of how to go about this, right? Most of us have been living in reverse, right? And living in reverse, L-I-V-E, right, spelled backwards, we've been living in a very evil manner. We've been pretty much raping Mother Nature of her resources, right? We've been exploiting all the animals and acting as if they are here for the sole purpose for us to enjoy, for our taste buds rather. And I know it's a lot of arguments out there still that'll choose to cling on to the idea that, this is what our ancestors ate, so they happen to, sustain their lives, live pretty decent lives, and, seems to still be working. And I mean, that's about as true as saying, I got a homie that melts down bicycles and eats them, and he has no health issues. I know that sounds a little stretched, but it's true. Like, there's plenty of people that actually do weird, crazy things like that, right? And we have evolved to a point where we have more information. We have all the information we need at the tip of our fingers, right? We can get on our phone, we can research and do a lot of digging, right? You can pretty much find information backing up any belief you have. So like I say almost every single video, do not let any information penetrate that doesn't really resonate with you. Okay? Now, for me personally, in my experience and in my journey, I was very much in this world and only in this world, not on a spiritual level, not on a higher self basis. I really didn't even know what a higher self was until a couple years ago, right? I just thought I was Gibran Siddiqui, my ego, the guy who loves to play basketball, smoke weed, party, and, just have a good time. Not to say that I wasn't in tune with my morale or my ethics. I tried my best to be a good person at all times, but all these extracurricular activities that I was getting into and all the poison that I was feeding my body through, eating animal meat, eating and consuming dairy, alcohol, blunts, right? Even, I know it's not the worst thing in the world, but even getting addicted to marijuana, which, like I said, a lot of people are going to defend it to their grave. And that was honestly me too, just until a couple months ago, where I took a much needed detox and just let it ride until, this present moment, to where I do not feel like I need it anymore. My vibrations have become so naturally high, and I know it sounds so cliche, but I believe the best high is just getting high on life, man. I know that sounds a little cheesy, but it's just the truth, man. When you can get to a point where you're always in the present moment and not letting your ego, not letting your mind just wander and make up all these stories, and once you start reliving these stories and situations that your mind conjures up, you identify with that. And that's when you start attracting all these extra drama, extra problems into your life, right? Which you really have no need to entertain. But our mind, it's powerful, man. It's so powerful, and it seems to flow into our life, into this 3D experience so easily. And with the lack of information, like we don't know any better. So it's really not our fault, man. We've been deprived of all this knowledge for so long. And you know, in the ancient times, back when they were really trying to hoard all this information, I'm sure you guys have heard of it, and it's gone on countless times through the cycles. You know, they would burn books. They would burn all the knowledge that people could ascertain and use it to implement better, you know, practices, better ways of living into their lives. And again, like, we've been living in reverse for the last so many years, and I feel like that's why we're giving this extreme shakeup right now, man. And many of y'all probably don't want to hear this, but somebody said this, and I saw it on Instagram the other day. Who said it? Maybe it was Russell Simmons or someone. He said if the whole world was vegan, the coronavirus wouldn't exist. And to an extent, that's kind of true, man. Like, all these viruses, you know, that have gone on in the last so many years, swine flu, bird flu, this flu, corona, you know, it comes from us eating all these animals that we really don't need to. And I know a lot of people will say, well, you know, that's from eating exotic animals. It's from eating something that's not necessary. To be real, guys, eating any animal is unnecessary. There's obviously been so much research, and you can look at the data, but you don't even have to look at the data, man. Like I said, don't take any, you can find information claiming anything is true. And maybe everything is true, you know, on a certain level of perception and different dimensions and who's looking at it, right? It's all subjective. But what I do know is, in my experience, and y'all, this is coming from somebody who was born and raised in Pakistan, right? Meat 4 or 5 times a day, 3 meals a day, even for snacks, right? It's like a hot dog or like a Slim Jim. Like, meat was necessary. So I'm letting you guys know from my experience and from my own journaling. I remember writing down just like 6 years ago, there's no way I can go plant-based. I just would love and miss my steaks and my chicken sandwiches way too much. But just by writing it down and acknowledging it, and then working towards it and making moves every single day towards wanting to live a more cleaner, healthier lifestyle, you know, Mother Nature is going to assist you. Anytime you put an effort into the universe and set an intention, the universe will conspire to push you forward, right? There's a thing called pronia. It's proneia. I don't know if I'm saying that right. It's basically the opposite of paranoia. Proneia, I believe. And that is when the universe conspires to work with you and make sure whatever you plan on doing, it's going to make sure it happens. So after I wrote that down, the next couple of days, I started changing up my mindset on how I was viewing this. I said, yo, maybe I can go vegan. Maybe I can do this whole plant-based thing. And then the next couple of weeks, I started writing, you know, I'm going to cut out all the milk. I'm going to cut out all the cheese. And from there, I started getting hints from the universe. I remember one time I was at Texas Roadhouse. I had a big old steak, and that was my favorite meal, guys. Like, my favorite meal of all time was a steak, you know, like a 16-ounce porterhouse, medium well, mashed potatoes, some green beans, and I ate that steak, and oh my God, I was feeling like I could experience the death of the animal inside my stomach. It was so intense. It was so visceral, and it wasn't a regular stomach ache. So it let me know that, yo, this is something different. And eventually I was able to finally kick the habit. It took a lot of months, maybe almost a year, of going back and forth, you know. Every time I'd get around family, it was the hardest because they'd make such good, tasty food. And it's just the familiarity of being around your family, your loved ones, the people you've always associated good times and good food with, right? And that connection, that fusion was very hard to just dismiss, right? You're going to react and you're going to fail over and over before you finally get on a trajectory where you just don't even think about it again, where it doesn't affect you. My friend Jared was just telling me the other day how one day he just woke up about 2 months ago and he was like, I'm going to go vegan. Like, I'm going to eat plant-based. And he went about 2 months straight without eating any meat, no cheese, no dairy, enjoying all of LA's vegan restaurants, obviously pre-quarantine era. And he said his dad came to visit not too long ago, and they went for a little barbecue. And, you know, he felt the ramifications of what he ate afterwards, and he ate it, but he also didn't enjoy it. He felt the same thing I just described earlier. And then the next day, he was right back on track. So, you know, for different people, it's going to be different levels of how quickly or how difficult it is to ride that wave. And, you know, the best thing I can suggest is just do your own research and just give it a little challenge. Give it a whirlski, you know. What could it hurt to just kick that around? Especially now, guys, it's different. Like, everything's changed. The world is different. It's moving at such a high pace and getting to such a high velocity and frequency that the food that you put in your body, it absolutely makes a difference in your vibration, right? You eat sun-kissed, live plant food derived straight from the source, right? The sun, planted from the ground, sprouting out, right? Natural stuff like that, you know, with your nutrients, your live enzymes, your minerals, all the zinc, right? All of that you can take in, and you're also getting your protein, man. That's where protein really derives from, right? Most of the protein that you're able to assimilate and take into your body through through animals, either way, is coming from the plant protein that they eat or ingest, right? So I don't want to get too deep into this. I know the topic of this video was how to stay present, but you know, for me, that was a big, huge, probably the biggest factor that helped me just kickstart this whole ascension journey and start really tapping into the present moment. And you know, another little tip is post-it notes, man. Get you some post-it notes, and just in your bathroom mirror, in your front door, by your TV, on the other side of your laptop, just everywhere, just write, remain present, stay present, presence. Breathe deep, breathe deep. Most of the time we're breathing so shallow because we have all these thoughts in our minds that have no reason to be entertained, and we're always either living in the past, regretting what we've already done, or living in anxiety about future events that have yet to occur. And we make it such a big deal, guys. And I've noticed that living just in the present moment, accepting what is, and that's from your soul. Your soul's always just like, okay, cool. It really has no preference. Your ego has the preference of what's good, what's bad, what's, you know, preferred, what's not. You know, just always labeling situations and events and trying to predict the future, right? So just try to remain present. Change up the diet. Take a plant-based diet, man. Take the vegan challenge. It's way easier and more tasty than you guys think. If you want to follow my Instagram, Vegan Vibes 2.0, same handle as my YouTube. I'm always whipping up some great, yummy vegan foods, man. I actually just made some really dang food today. You guys should go check it out. It's on my story. It's on my highlighted stories too. I'm here for you guys, man. I want to do whatever I can absolutely do to add value, to help everyone or anyone who's interested make the shift over to a more plant-based, more alkaline diet. It's not just better for humanity, for our future, for our planet. It's optimal for yourself, man. And again, don't listen to everyone else. Don't listen to me. but at least give it a shot. Kick that around, see if it has any long-term benefits for you, or even short-term, right? You can pick up a little something along the way. We all have our separate journey, and I just want to share my experiences and what this has done for me. Staying present, shifting to a plant-based diet, giving up smoking marijuana, giving up alcohol, giving up pretty much every form of extracurricular activity that is not conducive towards my highest timeline, towards my highest growth. And every single day is just getting better, more juicier, more fruitful. And, you know, we are at this phase now where it's time to reap the fruits of our labor, you know? It truly is. So, anyways, try to make that video short. Never happens. Every time I say that, it ends up being longer than my regular videos. But I love you guys from the bottom of my heart. I'm enjoying this process so much now. I've noticed a lot of people are starting to, you know, get hip to this awakening, man. Even like older folks, even like my parents are really in tune with what's going on. People that I would never think would, you know, accept all these new age concepts and ways of thinking. You know, it's all coming together, man. We are all coming back into union, into the oneness. The separation is melting more and more day by day, and that's the goal, man, for us all to come together, create a beautiful, abundant world. 5D, baby. We don't need 5G because we're in 5D. So hell yeah. Stay fresh, stay juicy, man. Leave a comment, send me some more emails, add me on the gram, Vegan Vibes 2.0, and yeah, stay in touch. All right, guys, peace out, much love.